Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash of Clans with a video that I know you guys are really going to enjoy. In the first half, we're going to take a look at 3 dominant air attack strategies involving LaLoon, baby dragons, and the big dragons, really the trifecta of air attacks. In the second half of today's video, as promised, I'm going to bring in FoG, who's the leader of the competitive Arranged Wars branch of Elite Nation, which is Elite Gaming. You can see I'm here right now, and as I told you guys, I really want to do something new, something fresh, something different, so I'm going to bring in FoG for week 1 of CWL, and then in following weeks, maybe I'll bring in different guests, but I really want to keep a storyline kind of behind the scenes, talking about our strengths and our weaknesses and how we hopefully get better as we go forward as a clan. So hopefully giving some of you the opportunity to kind of live vicariously inside Elite Gaming. So this is it, guys. Week 1 versus CWC Brawlers ended in a tie, and we pulled off the victory on percentage. Holy moly, this was a crazy war, and they made an epic comeback at the end. I'll tell you what, I thought this one was in the bag, but you can see here, I'll show you the clan war stats in just a second before I get into the attacks, but it was just insane. So huge tip of the hat to CWC Brawlers. They're really, really good, and you can see if you look at the maps here, you'll notice that we're warring light here, only 2 Town Hall 11s. So both sides had 1 or 2 Town Hall 10v10 3-stars, the rest of the 9s obviously cleaned up, so a lot of good 3-star raids, and the final tally did end up being 20 versus 20 as far as 3-star attacks. Again, it just came down to percentage. You can see there our stats are very, very similar, so a huge hats off. Again, COC Brawlers came from behind. They had like 8 attacks in the last 10 minutes. But anyway, let's get into these attacks. I'm going to show 1 Town Hall 10 attack here by Sharknado. The rest are going to be Town Hall 9 Baby Dragon and Dragon attacks. Oh, and also a solid LaLoon attack by Invincible. I know he's a viewer favorite, so stay tuned for that. So this attack here by Sharknado was so clutch for us. It came late in the war, and we needed a 3-star against a Town Hall 10, and he pulled one off here with a very nice LaLoon attack. So we're seeing the LaLoon attacks change a little bit. I mean, back in the day, and still a little bit today, we saw them starting out with a really heavy kill squad, using golems, bowlers, sometimes 1, most of the times even 2, even at Town Hall 10. But now we're starting to see much lighter kill squads. So that means just using your heroes and funneling troops, and that's exactly what you see here by Sharknado. He's going to get his queen into that little compartment there, and he's able to take down that Inferno Tower. So that was totally clutch there. If that Inferno Tower did not go down right there, then it probably would have been a much more difficult 3-star from there. So now all Sharknado has to do is, because he went super light with the kill squad there, he's able to carry 5 Lava Hounds. So 5 Lava Hounds, essentially a Penta LaLoon from here on out, gives him a lot of time and a lot of meat shield to protect those balloons. And note just how patient Sharknado is here with his balloon deployment, his Lava Hound deployment, and even his spell timing. He has a perfect timing on that freeze spell there, and he's able to haste those balloons along to take out that second Inferno Tower, and now he's sitting pretty here. He has both Inferno Towers down, he has plenty of Lava Hounds, he still has a max Lava Hound in the clan castle. There it goes there, and look, there's only 1 splash damage unit left on the entire map in that 1 Wizard Tower. He deploys a Rage spell there to take down that Wizard Tower, and now he's still sitting on the haste. He's gotta be feeling pretty good at this point in the raid. The Lava Hound in the clan castle doing absolutely nothing to stop his troops here. Sends in a minion or 2. He has a little bit of cleanup, but not a ton. Unfortunately, one of the downsides of bringing 5 Lava Hounds is, even at Town Hall 10 and Town Hall 11 even, there's not necessarily a guarantee that they're going to pop, so you could run into trouble if you bring 5 as opposed to 4, but you can see it works out great here for both Sharknado and also for Elite Gaming here. Very nice 3-star attack by the NATO monster. Okay, now let's go down to Town Hall 9 here. We'll do an Invincible attack using LaLoon, and then we'll move into a Dragon attack, and then a Baby Dragon attack, and then we'll bring in FoG. So stay tuned for all of that. Now, Invincible, as I mentioned before, he's always been a viewer favorite. He's been doing air raids since before it was super popular, since before the current meta. He's been doing air attacks way back when it was basically all hogs all the time. It was Stoned Goho, it was Shattered Goho, it was Cold-Blooded Goho, and there was Invincible over in Elite Academy at the time, just doing a LaLoon after LaLoon after LaLoon. So this guy's been doing it forever, and he still does it. You know, obviously he's happier than ever with the current meta, with air being so strong in the game right now. And you'll note he's using a heal spell. Using heal spells is certainly not the most popular method of LaLoon attacks, but he's been doing it with great success. And you'll see that kind of tricky area there, the Tesla farm by the air defense right here. And what he's going to do is start healing up those balloons right as they start to move past that area, kind of giving them a boost with that haste spell to get into that Tesla farm. And then as soon as they start moving downward, he knows that in order to keep them alive, he's going to have to heal them, because you can see they're being targeted by that wizard tower that's just north of the center of the map there. And then they're going to be basically swept via the air sweeper back into the other two wizard towers. So he opts to use the heal spell for that one tricky area. Now, if you are planning a LaLoon attack, especially at Town Hall 9, and you see one area where you're going to have to go right into an air sweeper, and the air sweeper is prone to push those balloons into splash damage, that might be a good idea. You can either A, rage them up to go right into the air sweeper, or B, if you kind of want to slow things down, because in this case, Invincible still had 11 balloons at that time to deploy, you can go ahead and just heal them and just buy you more time, keep them at full health, because obviously a heal can heal more damage than the wizard tower can deal out. So now let's move on to what could be two of my favorite attacks in this entire war. The first one here by W Hitman. Now you might recognize that name. Hitman was previously in Red Elite, my clan, and really Elite Gaming. We pulled maybe about a dozen or so players from our other 8 clans in the nation, basically players who had the time commitment to be able to attack in a specific hour or even less period in a 24-hour period for range wars, and also players who had the time to practice and build their bases and test their bases over the course of a week. Basically, building a new base every single week is a lot of work, and I'm going to ask FoG a little bit more about that when I have him on. So this is a really sweet attack here. Look at the 4 air defenses, and after this replay, I'll go ahead and play the beginning so we can just look at how he accounted for each of the air defenses. But if you see a base like this, guys, consider using this strategy. He's able to take down 3 of the air defenses right off the bat, and for the 4th air defense, he used a lava hound to distract it while he sent in all those dragons from the south. Oh, by the way, look at that queen. She is just clinging on to life right there. That is so cool when your queen can survive in a situation like that, because obviously she's going to help a lot throughout the rest of the raid. Even if it's just taking down a couple Teslas or helping out with a wizard tower, it's going to be damage that otherwise would have been totally negated had she went down. So here, pretty simple, right? No air defenses left standing, and you guys should already know this, but I'll state the obvious. When there's no air defenses, dragons and baby dragons absolutely dominate. I mean, splash damage doesn't even touch them. Point damage takes forever to bleed through their HP. It's just a pretty easy attack from here on out. The air defenses, when they're around the perimeter of the base like that, if you can use a Queen Walk, a Lava Hound, a Zap Quake, and a few balloons on haste to take them all down, look at it, right? So 2 air defenses over there on the right, 2 on the left here. Gonna use a Queen Walk to take one down, a Zap Quake to take the other down. Now check this out. Haste spell, 2 balloons. That's it. 2 balloons and a haste spell take down that 3rd air defense. The 4th one, we're going to use a lava hound to act as a meat shield. And that's it, guys. That's the whole dragon raid. So if you find a base like that with 4 very vulnerable air defenses, they don't have to be clumped together. They just have to be near the perimeter of the base. Use an attack like that. I'm telling you, you'll thank me later. Great attack there by Hitman. So now let's go into the baby dragon attack. And this was my personal favorite favorite attack of the entire war. I don't know what it is about baby dragons. I wasn't even a big fan of the troop when they first were introduced to the game. I thought they were kind of lame. I thought they could choose much better options from Clash Royale if they wanted to bring a Clash Royale troop into the game. So another meat-eating crow situation, because now they're one of my favorite troops in the game. I like that they have the enraged mechanic. It's something unique. It's something that no other troop has, and I just like their utility in general. I like that when you use a dozen or more baby dragons, up to 20 baby dragons, you can totally destroy a base. I think they're a refreshing troop now after we've had them for, whatever it's been, 6 months or whatnot. I really like baby dragons. They definitely have proven that they have more utility than just being a funnel maker troop. That's kind of what we speculated when they were first introduced to the game. So here it's going to be a really long queen walk here by David over Goliath. And you can see basically he's using the queen walk to trigger the clan castle A, to take down the enemy queen B, to create a really nice funnel C, and later she's going to take down a bunch of these air defenses that are all kind of clumped up in the northeastern, eastern area of the base. So using the king here and some bowlers in the clan castle, that's going to A, continue to create the funnel, B, take down one of the air defenses. Why the hell do I keep saying A, B, C, D, and C? Okay, so finally, the queen's inside the base. Now she's going to do her work here. And the king is A, jumping over that jump spell, B, taking down that air defense, and C, dying. Okay, I'm going to stop. I swear. I promise. Okay, so queen is into the core of the base. Now we're going to start to see the baby dragon start to be trickled in just a second. He really wants to take down one of the 2 remaining air defenses here because obviously, as we discussed in the dragon replay, the baby dragon's very, very susceptible to air defense damage. So once you can account for 2 or 3 air defenses, or you can just deploy them in a way that they're out of range of the air defenses, you're going to be in great shape. So using one baby dragon at a time here, just to help create the funnel, even if they're in range of an archer tower, it's okay. They have a lot of HP. They can actually withstand a point defense very easily in splash damage. So what he's going to do here is, and you see this on these baby dragon raids, is you're going to try to kind of artfully trickle in the baby dragons so you can take advantage of the enrage ability. If they start to group up a little bit, it's not the end of the world, but the idea here is you're not going to be deploying them all at the same time. Instead, kind of trickle them in. When one dies off, send in another baby dragon to replace it, and you'll take advantage, the full advantage of the enrage ability. So the queen's still alive here. All the baby dragons clean up the second half of that base, and that's it, baby. That's it. That's all she wrote. Very nice 3-star attack, and really a really nice 4 attacks there. Now, there's more attacks that I want to share with you guys, some highlights from this war, so I'm going to go ahead and turn them on, starting with this attack by Jacob, and in the meanwhile, you guys can go ahead and join me in FoG as we discuss this week 1 in CWL. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the conversation, and here it is. Here's FoG. Alright guys, I am joined by none other than FoG. What's up, Foggy?
Not much. How's it going, Ash?
It's going pretty well, man. I'm really excited to have you on. You are the leader of Elite Gaming, which is the competitive branch of Elite Nation. First off, before we get into the CWL, on your first week, I want to kind of ask you about how this competitive team came to be. People can probably see that Elite Gaming is only clan level 4, so tell us a little bit, for folks who don't know you, about your history and how you came to create Elite Gaming.
Well, first I was a leader of Clash with Ash, and I was just kind of getting bored with all the random wars and always getting mismatched by Supercell. I mean, we were always really heavy. Like, we'd be like 12 or 15 Town Hall 11s, and all the range wars were, I don't know, maybe 5 Town Hall 11s, 10 Town Hall 10s, and then the rest were Town Hall 9s. So instead of just misplacing all of my clanmates in Clash with Ash, I was like, how about I just start a new clan? And I heard about the CWL, it came out, and it was really competitive. So, I mean, I'm a competitor by heart. So I figured, why not just start a new clan? So I just jumped in face first into a new clan and brought all my accounts with me, and people just started filing in.
Yeah, how did you recruit people? Like, I'm sure you picked up a few people from other clans in Elite Nation, and how was it tough to navigate the other leaders of the clans, like taking some of their best players? Not that you were actively taking them, but I'm sure people reached out to you. Like, how did you manage both that and recruiting out of Elite Nation?
I went on Twitter. Twitter's a great tool for recruiting. It brought in a lot of people from Elite Nation through Twitter and also from outside. Once we started getting bigger, like 20 to 30 people, people started noticing us more. As soon as I got the first arranged war, people were like, "Oh, hey, let's get into Elite Gaming. We want to do arranged wars." And then as soon as we got to about 35 people, I seen the application came out for the CWL. So I applied for that. Then as soon as I applied for that, people were like, "Oh, hey, we want to get into Elite Gaming." And then
I noticed that you guys went from, you've been around for what, maybe 2-3 months or so? Is that about right?
yeah,
So
about
I
2
noticed
months.
that you guys were kind of at like 25 to 30 members for the first like half of that duration, and then lately it's been like 49 or 50. It's been like jam packed. So how do you? Okay, so you have your team set. We just finished week 1. I want to get into that a little bit. I want to get into the strengths and weaknesses. I told people last episode that I really want to kind of cover this almost as like a journalist, and 2 is kind of like reality Clash TV. So I do want to get a little bit inside the team, but before I do that, I am curious, before we get into week 1, like how do you go about, okay, so now you have a team assembled. Now you obviously want to win the league, or at least do better and better each season. So how do you go about kind of weeding out poor performers, or do you try to work with them? Or, I'm sure you have your top performers. How do you go about strengthening the team moving forward? I know it's a little early to ask that, but I am curious about your philosophy on that.
Strengthen the team. Okay. Well, we got our top performers, so we're going to keep those guys in no matter what.
Yep.
The guys who didn't do as good, we're going to work with them to see if they can get better. If they don't show strides in getting better, unfortunately, we're going to have to cut them. We have a big alliance of like 10 or 11 clans in Elite Nation. So before we go and cut them, we'll ask if they want to go to another Elite Nation clan that may not be as competitive.
Okay.
Because in Elite Gaming, we're expecting people to change bases once a week. We're expecting scrimmages. We're expecting a lot of activity. So if people get burned out, we'll ask them if they want to move to another one of our family clans that aren't quite as competitive. They're still competitive, but not as much as Elite Gaming.
Yeah, the time obligations are a little bit less, especially with like redesigning bases. So going into the season, going into week 1, what is your game plan as far as bases go? Like, it is a lot of work to design a base from scratch. Like, when I say a lot of work, I mean like hours and hours and hours. So you can't possibly expect everybody to build a base from scratch because not everybody's even good at that. So how are you going about that? Are you do you have some people who are dedicated to building bases for other people, or what is your game plan there?
Yeah, we have a base building team of about, I don't know, it's getting bigger. It's probably about, we got 20 people on the base building team now.
Okay, so are they just pumping out bases?
Yeah, they're just building bases and helping people tweak their bases that they have.
Nice.
So they'll put a base out and they'll see, well, it'll be attacked good this way or bad this way, or just make a little tweak to make sure it's a little bit harder to attack.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. So, do you have like a base building all-star on the team so far, or do you have several, or are you still looking for somebody, or like how do you think you are there? Do you think that's a strength or a weakness at this point, or just something that is average?
I would say it's average. Our base building all-star right now is Jennifer.
Okay.
She's Town Hall 9. She's a 30-30. Great attacker and our best base builder by far. She's probably put, I would say, at least 10 of our Town Hall 9 bases out there for this first week.
Damn. That's very impressive. That's a lot of time, too. Wow, where did you get her from? Like, where did she come from?
She came from...
Or do you know?
I can't remember the clan. I'd have to look it up.
Okay, cool. Just curious. Okay, well, let's get into week 1 then. So week 1, first of all, how do you feel going into the match against COC Ballers?
I was actually really nervous. I've never really heard of this clan before. I never really heard of the clan before, so I mean, I'm just nervous. I was expecting a tough war, and to tell you the truth, we tied and won on percentage, so it was a very, very tough war.
Yeah, that was insane. I mean, I was there for most of the battle day, And I honestly, when I entered the clan, I thought you guys had it in the bag. I mean, you had a 6-star lead. I think it was 60 to 60 stars. We had the 3-star lead. We had the percentage lead, and we had way less attacks used. So I was like, wow, this is nice and easy. I mean, but hats off to COC Brawlers. They came back, and they did really, really well. Were you nervous at the end there?
Yes, I was very, very nervous. The last 10 minutes of the actual war was like 7 or 8 attacks. It was madness.
So did you change your philosophy or your strategy going into the last hour or so of the war? Did we need to get percentage at that point? Like, how do you go about communicating to the team when you have to make a big change like that because everything's so tight?
Well, we kind of knew where we needed to hit, and we had a very good Town Hall 10 versus Town Hall 10 3-star by Shark at the end.
Yes.
And we actually had a Town Hall 11 dip.
Yeah.
That failed. So that kind of hurt us. They had 2 Town Hall 11 dips that they had fresh 3s on, so that kind of put us in a bind.
Mm-hmm.
And they had 2 Town Hall 11 dips that failed on them. So I think they were kind of rushing their attacks at the end. That kind of hindered them in their performance.
Yeah, I think that if you look at their team, they came out the gate pretty slow, and I almost thought it might be their strategy to hit late. You know, it almost seemed like they wanted you to think that psychologically we had it in the bag, and then they came at us hard, but it was really late that they attacked. So I'm not sure if that was planned or if it was just, you know, the holiday season, whatever, you know. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but either way, it was definitely like an edge of your seat moment. So we picked up the W on the tie. So congrats, my friend. First of all, do you have any MVP shout-outs you want to give on the anybody we should keep our eye on for week 2?
Well, week 2 we're going against Colorado Boss. And they're a little bit lighter on the weight. Okay. So we're going to give some people that are lighter on our weights on our side that may not be able to get a chance to war in future CWL weeks. So our MVP I'm going to give to Shark this war.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to be one of our main Town Hall 10s moving forward.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll keep an eye on him for sure. That was a really nice attack. LaLoon 3-star against a pretty well upgraded Town Hall 10. So it's a huge shout out to him. Are there any weaknesses? I don't want you to call anybody out right now, but is there any weaknesses overall as a clan that you see right now that you need to address and get better at? What do we need to change in Elite Gaming?
Right now we're not used to the 25-man wars. Just having the 2 Town Hall 11s and only the 5 Town Hall 10s is definitely throwing us in a wrench. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be hitting the scrimmages hard, new strategies hard, and stuff this week. Yeah,
so definitely like the dipping and stuff, you just got to get better strategy. I should mention that this is CWLL, which is light, which means basically it's a well, why don't you explain what it means?
It's a 25-man league instead of the 30 or 40-man wars that we typically run. Mm-hmm. There's only 2 Town Hall 11s, 5 Town Hall 10s, and then 18 Town Hall 9s.
Okay,
we're usually running 5 Town Hall 11s, 10 Town Hall 10s, and then the rest Town Hall 9s.
Yeah, definitely way lighter than we're used to in any of our clans. So, and I kind of wanted to hop in, but it's like, wow, there's only 2 spots at Town Hall 11, you know? I don't know. That's a lot of pressure on you, too. But anyway, any scouting report for next week? What do you think of the Colorado crew here? You think we got it in the bag? It's going to be a difficult war? Not sure yet. Have you done any scouting?
Yeah, I think it should be a win, but I don't want to underestimate anybody in the CWLL.
Yeah.
Just because they're there for a reason. I don't want to overlook anybody, and I think everybody will be tough.
Yeah, it should be. And next week, what I want to do is bring you back periodically throughout the weeks, maybe even like a midweek episode to kind of touch base on the team. And then I'll try to bring on, you know, maybe some base designers or some of the MVPs, or maybe someone who's struggling and needs to get a little bit better. So we'll be in touch. I'll stay in the clan, trying to get more of a feel for the culture that you guys have going on. And I really hope to have you back again, FoG. It's awesome that you're doing this, and really can't wait to cover the season, man. So thank you.
I appreciate it, Ash.
If people want to get in touch with you, maybe about joining in the future or anything like that, how can they get a hold of you?
We use the Line application for all of our communication. So hit me up online. My name is FoG Forsaken, FoG
Okay, great. I'll include that in the description for you guys if you want to reach out to FoG. I'll also include his Twitter handle. FoG, thanks again for coming on, man. Good luck on week 2.
Thanks, Ash.
No problem. All right, guys, so that was it. That was FoG. Those were my favorite attacks. This has been a rather long video for Clash of Clans. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I told you guys you were going to love it. Let me know if you did. And if you have any suggestions for episode 2 of this CWL special Clash of Clans series, let me know in the comments below, guys. I really appreciate your feedback, and I really appreciate you watching all the way till the end. So, guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.